Transformers reviews, tech and the news, whatever else I use as a muse. Hit subscribe, I appreciate the views. Influences interest on YouTube.
Welcome to the video, people. This is Influence, and today I have the Voltron Mini-Pla. It's Throwback Thursday. This isn't a super throwback. It's a little older figure though. It's a model kit that you build into the lines, and then they can combine into Voltron. It does come with a lot of accessories. I actually, when I first got this, I was kind of on the fence because it was so small to me, and I didn't know anything about Voltron figures. I was just into Transformers. I love Voltron. I want more Voltron figures. I want Blitzway Voltron. But that's another conversation. I saw this and thought I had built a couple Transformers model kit and thought, well, hey, I get this. This was actually easier than the models that I built with the Transformers, but it was painstakingly long. No, it wasn't really. To tell you the truth, I had a lot of fun doing this. I think I have a couple videos about this. I never did a full review on this, which is why I'm doing it now, because I just like started messing with it again and realized how great this is for what it is. So you have each particular line that you build. They all have their weapons, even though I lost the green and the yellow weapon. I don't know where they are. They're probably somewhere on this desk because it looks terrible. So I would just have to look for it. I'm sure it's somewhere around here with a bunch of other accessories. But you got weapons, you got stuff that goes on the side. They're well articulated. At the time, I wasn't too versed on the clippers and the models and having the clippers. So with the black line and a few others, you can see some of the sprue marks here. If I had the right clippers, I could have got those a lot better. If you're a painter of models, like if you put together models and paint them, oh, this would be magnificent. It did have stickers, and also it has a lot of parts forming. So if you're not into that, hey, what can I say? But I actually love that it has the parts forming. I think it's super thoughtful because it is a model kit. So they had to sacrifice, but with the parts forming, it helps with the sacrifice. Like the proportions of these lions are great, the lion heads and everything, and we'll just get right into it. Then you can swap them out when you're in Voltron mode for bigger heads on all of them. The lions have bigger heads, and it's just a different take on the faces and the heads, and it gives a more meaner look. And I kind of wish they did that with the black lion too, because his neck, which is one of the only criticisms I have, is his neck, unless I didn't put it together well, is not great. The head is a little small. I wish they would have had a bigger head on here and maybe made it smaller or made it bigger. I don't know. And you have these to cover up the legs, and I will show you how that works. So just to show all the lines, I won't go through all their articulation, but I will show their faces. So you got the yellow line. You can see, and I had him in like a sitting pose. He can sit, his tail. You got the articulation here. Does this have articulation? No. But you got the number 5. It was stickers I'll put on there. So then I'll just bend them out. So you got the articulation here with the ankle, with the middle part, I guess forearm for lack of a better term, and you have the articulation up here, and then it's on a ball joint, so you get some of this in and out, and up here you get, and you also get around. It can go all the way around, so it's pretty great articulation. Besides ankle rocker, there's no ankle rocker. Same up here, it's the same articulation, but you do get a lot of rocker up here, so you get rocker at the shoulder, so he can have a wider stance, and his mouth opens and he can hold his weapon. And he also has looks like a gun or something in there to shoot fire or something. These weapons, I don't know whose is who, but they have a bunch of holes on the side, so they can just peg in on the side, and you can see. Green, I'm not gonna go over all their articulation. That's the articulation for all of them. So you have the legs articulated, but then you have green has the ab crunch that doubles as the arm. I just knocked off his gun. There's a little gun. Again, there's these, and there's pegs on all of them. You can see they're holding their weapons. So I just put some weapons on here. Head wise, I don't think I did his head, but he can go down like this and up, and you have that, and it has a hole in there to hold a weapon that I can't find. His head, I think, is the same. It goes down about that far and up, and you don't get too much side, no side to side, not too much, none. So then we have a black line here. I already went over his head that I don't like, but he does get side to side like this. So that's great. He can get all the way down, of course, and he gets all the way up, which is insane. He has the holes right here for weapons. Oh, well, actually, they're little pegs, and these weapons are peg on. And his articulation at the shoulders is right here, and he basically has the same articulation as all the other lines, just their normal legs. They all don't have rockers. Again, and he doesn't hold his weapon very well. Does fall out. Again, you have the head, and as you see, that's the problem with this being a model kit, is because these are like snapping, and they're snapping model kits, so there's no glue or anything. I thought that was a given, but I figured I'd say it. And then you have this, and you see how his weapon pegs into the top of his jaw because of the hole. I can get it out. It's really strong too. There you go. So you got that peg, and his legs are the same. And then you have his tail. His tail can go like this. So that's cool. And you can see the back too. I think I showed all the ab crunches and stuff. And you have blue line, same for the blue line. Basically, you have that. You have this, his legs are the same. You have his tail. It's basically all the same articulation here. And you see all this, and I'll show it more in Voltron mode. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the lines. So now we'll get them into Voltron mode, and you'll see like some of what I was talking about with the parts forming. Get these combined. So I'll take all of their weapons off, push the tail in like that, and then this is where the parts forming comes into play. You got to take their legs off, which does make for a lot of extra parts, but again, I think it's great for Voltron. And then you take his head off, which basically you're left with a body. And what you do is these things, the bigger one goes at the bottom, and I think the minus signs are the yellow lines. So you put the two bigger ones on the bottom. The other ones are slightly smaller, if you can tell. They're slightly smaller, and those go at the top. So it kind of looks like, it gives it the illusion that his legs went in, which I love. And then you put the bigger head on here. Then you move this up, and then his heel spur. And then you have his leg. So you got one leg. So let's do the blue line. Same thing. Folding that. Take the legs off. Take his weapons off. Now the weapons do all combine to form a gun. It's okay, but I don't know. I don't recall Voltron having a gun, but I could be wrong. I don't remember everything. So then the same over here. You take the bigger ones, and the circle ones go on the blue line. Then you take the smaller size. You can tell, smaller size. Throw that in there like that. You take the bigger head, put that on, and move it up. Now you have a leg. You have a leg over there. So now you do the arms. Same thing. Take his weapon out. Take his head off. Put it to the side. Take his legs off. Take his tail off to the side, and then you can put the bigger head on. You can try to put the bigger head on. There we go. And to tell you the truth, I'm not sure which ones go on which lines, but I just put the minus sides over here. So then you put these up here, and I believe the bigger ones go at the top, if I'm not mistaken, and then the smaller ones go down here at the bottom. There's a certain way you got to put it. If you see that cross hatch, and you see how that is, it has a circle with the cross hatch. There you go. And you can see I left some flash on there because I didn't have the proper cutters. I have the proper cutters now. I could go through, go back, and sometimes it left gaps. You can see that gap there because it wasn't cut great, so there's flash still there making it pop open. It's little things like that that bothers me more so than any of the parts forming stuff. I actually like the parts forming stuff just because I think it makes it clean. So we'll do the green line. Take his head off. Only thing I hate about it is you're gonna have to have a bag to keep all the extra stuff in there. Now you can put the bigger one at the top, I believe. Smaller one at the bottom. Oh yeah, because there's a cross hatch on this one. There's only one on the top, so yeah, it has no other way to fit. So that's good to know. Put that on there. You got an arm. So now for the black line, take this off. Take his, move this like this. You can take his legs off. I think you're supposed to take them off here, right here. See how they have the thing that goes in? So then you move this back and you take his leg off right there. Then you push this in, kind of clamp it in. Does go in. I think this is a case of where I didn't have the cutters, and there's a lot of flash in there. So there's that. And then his legs is just like regular normal Voltron. Pull them down straight, then put his wings up, unfold them first, then put them over, and they kind of rest against there as normal, as per Voltron. And then his tail just goes up like that. Then you have this. Now put the legs in and they clamp in. I think they're in all the way, I'm not sure. See what this one do. Yeah, they're in all the way. Then you plug in over there. You can bring it down. And you plug in over here. Bring it down. And then you can bring down his head. When you bring down his mouth, and then the head's up in here, just like Voltron is normally. So kind of situated. There you go. We pull his head down. Then you have Voltron, Mini-Pla Voltron. And yeah, I think it's great looking, especially because it's a model. Like it's pretty great. So here he is, Voltron, and what's cool is I forgot you got to pull these arms down, because then they have an extra joint and it makes the proportions that much better. So that's even greater right there. So then you have then you can turn this like this, however you need it, in order to get this joint, to use this joint. But then with that extra proportion wise, you get a double joint. Even though, yeah, there you go, you get a double joint in the Voltron. So that's cool. I go through articulation. He goes all the way around. He has a joint that gets you all the way up. His head, put that back down. You see the double joint in the elbow. Both elbows have that. He does have bicep swivel. He has some rock back and forth. Has some ab crunch going forward and backwards. His head goes down about that much, goes up, way up, because he can look up like that, and you can get side to side greatly. These of course move all over, whichever way, however you need them. You can even put them back if you don't like them. I don't know why you would do that, because it's Voltron. But then he has bend up here. You do have to move his tail a little bit so you can get the bend. So you can get the bend at the top, and he has a bend at the waist right here, but it does hit right here. It does hit back here too. You can put this tail all the way down to get it where you need it, but you see it stops right there. But then you can get the top all the way around if you want. And I just took it off the ball joint. That does happen at times because this is like a snap together model. So put this back, but it's easy to fix. It is hard to get him situated though sometimes. So then you have the a little bit of butterfly, and of course you can use this as well to get that butterfly, and it goes out and in. That's really, you know, you really need the butterfly. It's not, you know, the greatest, but I didn't expect none of this articulation, to tell you the truth. He can go out to the sides about this far, which isn't all that great, but let me see if he can. I don't know if his, I don't know if he had drop down hips like some of the Voltrons do, but then he can do the hurdles all the way. Then he has a double jointed knee that gets all the way at the top. His knee hits his back. His heel spur does. He has the thigh swivel here. The toe is all the way down. Plus you get toe tilt on that. You get up. You get rocker, back and forth, and yeah, that's it. Again, you get the down toe. You get the little bit of up toe like that, and that's on both sides. You get that rocker. This one's a little tighter because I pushed it up in there. But of course you can get that down like that and use the axle toe, or you can use this part. So there's a lot of articulation on this thing that is actually really great. Then you have the spinning blade and blazing sword. And the way they go in, of course, you have a peg, and in this he has a peg hole, and you can move this back and forth, and all this stuff had to be put together too, which is cool. I mean, it's cool to me. Some people won't like it. But you got the blazing sword, and then you can do the spinning blade, which does the same thing. Goes in his hand to the right part, because you can either hold it like this, like it's a shield, or you can hold it like this where it's out. I think I remember him holding it like this. I don't know, but you can do that. Then you have Voltron. Let's get him into a kind of a stance. And there's Voltron, which is great. I love it. I think it's a great figure. It's really plus you have all this that you can, I'm not going to put it together. You can put it all together and make a gun. I would have to figure it out. It's just a short, well, not short, but you know, just a throwback review really. But yeah, you get all this extra, and I'm dropping stuff, and you can put that all together. It all combines into some type of crazy looking gun. It's not the greatest looking gun, but I mean, it is a gun. And the byproduct of all that, of course, is this, which is the only negative I really have of this thing, is the fact that you gotta find somewhere to store all this if you want to go back and forth. If not, it's fine. Drop these in a baggie. I got a baggie back there that they were in before this review, and go on about your business. Then you have Voltron here. So let me compare him I don't have really anything to compare him to. We'll just compare him to what I have. So I have a Masterpiece Protector Bot. That's Fuzz, which is X-Transbot's Protector Bot. I couldn't even think of his name. And then you have Realm Collector's X-Transbot's Nelson. Willie Nelson. So yeah, you see how he compares to them. So he is, for a Voltron figure, he's small. That's why it's mini. But I think it's a great figure, and I would highly recommend it if you can find it somewhere. I think you can. I'm not sure how much it's going for now. I forget. I think I paid like 59 bucks, which is a steal. I think it's a steal. I think I paid $59. I'm not sure, but it's a super steal to me. At first I was iffy because I'm like, it's a model kit. Most of the model kits I was getting at the time was like no more than 30 bucks. So I wasn't thinking about the intricacies and stuff of Voltron. You know, I'm just thinking, oh, it's a model kit. It's going to be what it is. And I don't know if I want to pay $60, 60 and some change after tax. However, I'm glad I did get it because I seen it on eBay for like 200. I don't think it's worth that. Again, it's worth is what it is to you. If you think it's worth that and you want to pay for that, you know, I'm not here to tell you not to. It is a great figure. I just don't think it's worth 200 bucks. But if you're into models and you can find it cheaper than that, I think the most I would pay is maybe 100, 110. Not sure. I don't even know how much I paid. I'm saying that, but again, if you're a person that paints models, oh, that's what I really would like to do. I really would like to have this thing painted. I don't know if I would pay to have it painted. I think I'm going to buy some model kits and start painting models, like just fooling around with them, just to try to get good at it, and then maybe try to paint some. I think I'm gonna go through it and maybe take it apart and clip some of the stuff off of too. I'm not sure, but anyway, I'm getting, you know how I do, I'm sidetracked like mud. This is Mini-Pla Voltron, and I'm out. I think it's a great figure. Peace.
Ain't over, life ain't over, life ain't over, life ain't over. As long as you alive, you can give another try and take it real high if you want.